Hey kids, do you remember what application we did last time? Okay, let's just try to revisit it. We created one small page. In that we added one image for bulb. We created a functionality to switch on the button and switch off the button. Do you think that we made some mistake here? Of course we did. When we enter the home and we want to turn on the light and turn it off, then do you see two buttons? No, you have only one button, right? Okay, so that is the mistake we did. We must have only one button to switch on or switch off the light, correct? Yep, there we go. So today's goal is to convert these two buttons to one, okay, and achieve the entire functionality of this app. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just go here, I'll copy this folder, Control C, I'll just click here and I'll do Control V. If I just click a little and release here, then it will allow me to rename. I just say video 2 and I rename it. Okay, like last time, what we will do is we will just drag this video, we'll go to Visual Studio Code, we will drop it here. Now in Visual Studio Code you see 3 files as we did see last time, and the same small code that we wrote last time. Yep. So as we know that we want to have only one button, so just delete this one. We only need one button. But does it solve the purpose? No, it won't solve the purpose. Okay, so to do this we need to apply little logic. And how do you apply a logic? You apply logic with the help of your intelligence, I guess, is it? Okay, where this intelligence lies, it's in the brain, right? And where the brain, your brain lies, it's in your head. Okay, so if we want to have some logical or intelligent stuff in programming, in the HTML programs or files, then we make use of this head as you do. What I'll do is I'll just write one small code called script, and here I'll just tell that this script or this language is going to be a JavaScript language. Text, because it's all text, and JavaScript. Yippee. Okay, now we have this script block. We want to add some intelligence. So what do you mean by to add intelligence? Is we need to apply some function, we need to create some functions, and we need to execute them. You have your eyes. What these eyes do? Generally in biology you have the chapters, in those you hear that what is the function of your eye. The function of your eyes is to see. It's not just to see, but what eye does is it captures the visuals or the pictures from surrounding wherever you see, and give those pictures or that data, that whole set of information, to your brain, and then brain processes it. You see a chocolate, then that information eyes pass to the brain. Okay, I have seen the chocolate, and then you feel like I must have this chocolate. Okay, the same way we need to create some blocks which will have their own functions. So let's write some function. We'll write one function, we'll call it switch on of light, because that is what we want to do. Now how to switch on off is, we need to decide when to switch on, when to switch off. So it is dumb thing, right? If it is off, then switch it on. If it is on, then switch it off. The same way, because it only can have two different states. One is off, one is on. Okay. So I'll just create one variable above this, and I will call it var current button state equals to, let's say, 0. For now we do not say anything. I'll just do here a logic, and that logic is, if current button state is equals to 0, then we want to switch off the light or switch on the light. We will decide what does 0 mean, what does 1 mean. So let's consider 0 means off. So if it is off, then we want to switch it on. So we'll write one more small function, switch on light, and again another one. I'll just copy this, I don't have much time to engage, and then I'll just make this off. So we have two different functions. As we just saw that your eyes have a function to capture something and send it to brain. The same way what this will do, it will check whether this data, this current state is something, then call some function. So if I get a chocolate, then I should feel like I must have it, and if the same way if I get Karela, then oh, I don't want to eat it. Switch on, right? And if not, means else, switch off. We are not interested. Sorry. Yep. Now what do you mean by switch on, switch off? How to implement that? Here if we see, we only have one single line to call. Okay, so instead of this one line, what we will do is we will call our function, and that function is switch on of light. Okay, so what we did last time, we wrote one liner code in on click line, and that was just to switch on the light. Here we called a function, and now we have lot of area to keep writing our logic. Okay, so when I click on this button, then this function will be called. This function, what it does, it checks whether current button state is 0. As we have already set it 0, so it's going to be, then switch on the light. Now switch on the light, this is being called, but it doesn't do anything. So what it has to do, we deleted the code, how poor. Okay, let's type the code. It's good to type document dot get element by id, that was our line. We'll continue with it, and here the id of image is light, so I'll just say light dot src, that was our code, right? And it was on dot png, it was sorry, it is on dot png, but it is, we want it to make on, so it is on. Okay, the same way if we want to make it off, then what I do is I just set it off. My function name and my image file name is the same. Okay, should we try this once? Okay, I'll just go here. I'll go to video 2. I'll just double click on this. It's opening. I'll refresh this. Switch on. Oh, it is switch on, but it's not switching it off. Oh. So what we do is, again, we go back and we miss something. What we missed is, if we are setting this button state to 0 and if we are considering that 0 means off, then when we turn this button on, then we must say that current state is on. So let's guess that current state on, it means 1. So current button state equals to 1. And the same way, again, when you click on the off, we make it 0. Now it has to work perfectly. I'll again go here, refresh this. Switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. Wow, it's working. Okay, the functionality is working, but still, do you find any problem here? I do see. The problem is that this button always remains on. The text doesn't get changed. We want to change that text also. So here we will just go and we will change that text to off and on. But to do that, as we saw last time, that to identify this IMG, you need to write one attribute called ID, and this ID was light here. The same way for button, I need to write ID equals to, what should we call it? A light switch. Light switch. Okay. And we'll just again do the same thing. Button, sorry, document dot get element by ID light switch dot. Now here it's not source, but it is inner text that I need to set, equals to. If it is on, then my button's text will be exactly opposite of that, right? So it is switch off. Copy, copy, copy. Always remember, you can copy and paste things, but when you copy, then it comes with a lot of responsibility that you need to change the relative text. Here it is off, and if I just copy, then it does not work. I have to check whether I have made it switch on. We'll just go back to the browser. We will refresh this. You can click on this button, or you can even press F5. It refreshes. It has switch on. Oh, now it is switch off, on, off, on, off. Now you have switch on and switch off both. Is it funny? Yeah. Now this 0 and 1, we won't be able to remember this always. Okay, so what we will do is we'll just try to make it little readable. I'll say const and call it button state. I'll create one small enum, enumeration. I don't want to remember what is 0, what is 1. I have to name it properly. So off means 0 and, sorry, comma it is here, and on means 1. Okay, now if I just go here and if I just press this, I see button state. Here I can say off. Now this is more readable, right? Earlier it was 0, it is off now. The same thing I'll just do here. The same thing I'll do here, because I need to replace the instances of 0 with off, and here I have to call it on. Yes, now our program or small logic is readable and executable also. Okay, shall we just quickly revise what we did? Okay, we removed our another button, we kept only one button. In this button we called one function. That function is checking whether the button state is off. If it is off, then it has to switch on the light, calling one function, otherwise it will switch off the light. We are just using if and else just because we have only two states. Later on we will see how to add more logic in this. In switch on light, what we did is we found the element by ID, that light, and we set the source to on. Then we change the button state, and then the inner text of that switch to switch off, and we did exactly opposite in the switch off. The key is we must have some state by default, and our state is off. If I just set this on, then what will happen? First time you will see different text on the button, and then later on it will start and syncing. Okay, so yep, this is done. This is what we have for today. We will come up with some new ideas, some new video in the next time, and in one of the next videos I'll explain what this const is, what is this var is, what this function is, what this if statement is. Okay, till then, goodbye.